Truth is, we need to also understand that directors, but employee of a producer. Actor is an employee of a producer. Producer be everybody employ. So on that set, open the director only. You brought director producer.
Yes. Yes.
The controlling is over your creative process.
Yes.
You may not have control over the administrative process.
Yes.
So sometimes open on that kind of set. More man to room on. Because sin. If you give me a scene, sin. Actors none of the scene. I will shoot it. In your scene, the actors are not. And say I can't shoot it. By the time all the days, number of days I'm gonna get back. And I am mature. Either they extend the days, one more extra money. Or I leave the set and go. Until when you are ready, you extend my days and then you pay me extra money. So the responsibility of producers, be make sure now the people they hire no on ground for the job. So our time, but Ian Jamantion no kwabuna. Toka. So not Toka. Thomas Amaro, the agreement between producer and the actor. So or may not know. So Omambia say maybe na the actor Agbo producer and such a thing in not made the conversation.
Yes.
Which is why more another like eating until I know from the both sides.
Because it's a one-sided difference.
Exactly. So it could have gone anyways. Yes.
Okay. You see, as a boy female, kai kukede maka film on the bany. I am Asaba. And when you had the film on the Asaba or Asaba Wood or anything, is there something like that to start with?
I don't care who is saying what or what is saying who. There's nothing called Asaba Wood. There's nothing called Yoruba Wood. There's nothing called Igbo Wood. There's nothing called Hausa Wood. Ofu Wood Kamma, which is Nollywood.
Okay.
Every part of the world and where different grades of movies. Even in America. And we grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D, grade E. So, open a mad name film na Asaba, mo name film na Enugu, mo name film na Awka. And the person by an independent filmmaker. On maybe film here about like grade B or grade C. You cannot go and circle them. And say na ndi nka di iche from India or Zomba. The reason patoja abu film open from US or Hollywood, right? Or Magemma. But the most grade B and grade C movies, Sheba after, don't get international distribution. So you don't afford the film. By the time you for the film, you can find that some of our movies are greater than it, are better than it. Because I'm a host film festival. And my films from across the world. Anyway, someone album from US now. What the hell is this? So I don't believe name was about wood. This whole enclaves, but just film hubs. But all of them are channeled towards one specific industry for film in Nigeria, which is Nollywood. Any other thing in our know, either for political conveniences, or for cultural conveniences, or for social cultural conveniences, or it's not really what it ought to be. Now, Nollywood as it is was even given to us by a white man. But what we know is that there is Nigerian film industry, otherwise known as Nollywood. So every other film hub, kita enwe film hub na Edo, Benin, enwe na Asaba, enwe na Enugu, I think Awka na Agbo, enwe na Akwa Ibom, enwe na Port Harcourt, enwe na Abuja, enwe na Lagos, enwe na Kano, enwe na Kaduna, enwe different places. So from reason Ageju na Agbo Asaba Wood. Guinea with that thing that's unique to Asaba Wood. Are they not telling stories? Are they not making films? Are they not using lights? Are they not recording sound? Can they be DJ? So I feel that we should collapse all these geographical demarcations. We're all doing one thing, but we're producing film for the Nigerian film industry, which is Nollywood.
Then, enwe ka ha si anya ọkasị ndị ofe mmanụ ndị anọ Lagos eme nke ha enwe ka ha si ene ndị Asaba anya Then ihe amekwu with ihe Junior Pope asị na aba mmiri abara mmiri no life jacket ọ dịkwa oke osokwu ka ihe mee ifile na ndị Yoruba na-ene anyị anya asị ma ya dịrọ serious na ya mara ihe anyị na-eme na anyị na-eme ihe ụmụazị
nke bụ eziokwu bụ na first and foremost ihe mee Junior Pope ihe na Junior Pope is purely accidental but there are some level of stupidity in it.
Okay.
I have not said this in public but I will say it. There are some level of stupidity across board. God bless the soul of Ndemugao. But there are still level of stupidity across board. Stupidity from the EP who hired all of them. And by virtue of anything, did not have basic safety protocol. And you're shooting under the water. Across the water, like you're crossing
above the water.
Stupidity of the leader of the set, the director, who happens to also be a member of my guild, for not insisting that there must be basic safety protocol before crossing. Stupidity of the cast and crew who agreed to enter the boat without ensuring that there is basic safety protocol. Now, Obros also na Asaba on na Lagos. I can recount many times in the modern opportunity main road. Possibly one scene or two.
Without any
without
protocol.
Maybe informing the Road Safety Commission or getting the basic protocol to make sure. What if one drunk trailer from nowhere arrives at that moment? So the thing is, the problem, Agbo Asaba problem, I've said this countless times, is the mindset of the entire industry as a whole that needs to rejig. Obro eptesim no Asaba. Ngiwaneme na Lagos, ngiwaneme na other places. The films in essay, what are the safety protocols in it? First aid, fire extinguisher, fire or even fire service, or medical personnel. How many Nollywood productions, apart from the big budget, can say na ha a health officer on set in case any emergency, in case madam art kata film da, or in case mad bukata sound boom kata da, or in case mad ne record film da. Kedu the safety protocol in one. So let people not push the blame to Asaba.
It's a general problem.
It's a general problem. So I've always said it. And I think I've done film once in Asaba in all my life, right? But you can't heap it on them. I will not agree. Again, let's be honest. Geographical location does not make a film. You can make the biggest film of your life in Asaba or anywhere else. Location is not the problem. Can never be the problem. So I don't like the fact that Asaba. Let us also be factual. Asaba has provided at least 60% of what sustains Nollywood today that is called film. African Magic is one of the largest platforms in film in Africa. 60% of the content that go in African Magic come from Asaba.
Oh, when you say na akuse me film na Asaba. African Magic Epic.
So beyond the Epic, I'm not even saying only Epic. Because I know African Magic video. How many contents issue from Asaba and other platforms as well. So the Asaba and the importance of Asaba in the chain of the Nigerian film industry. I'll be laughing at them because it's out of ignorance. Before Mbasaba we na YouTube. I say some of people in the man Lagos and I say I can never do YouTube films. How can I just spend my money in YouTube and then for free? Some people may go big budget cinema films and I'm catching up on YouTube.
YouTube.
Mbe DVD VCD marketing dawa. The likes of some marketers gather, some open real Nolly, some open Nollywood pictures.
Forever.
No, forever Uche. Forever bo Lagos.
Okay.
My name was so many
real Nolly.
Even first Nolly. And some others. So They saw an alternative to their DVD VCD market and grabbed it. Kita yen the Lagos name will catch up. So you cannot tell me that or that yes, you may argue that the quality of cinematography, quality of set design coming out from Asaba, Mwike, it may not be cream de la cream, right? But you also have to compare the budgets you use to make your own film and the one they use to make their own film. At the end of the day, for me, film success is two things. One, measure the impact of your film na society. Secondly, how commercially viable was it?
Okay.
If you cannot marry art and commerce in your film and become successful, then I don't think in a film. Ndasaba has been able to master how to marry it. So how many low budget they make back their money and they make more and more people talk about it. In fact, some pastors and priests use their film to tell stories in churches. Accusing ndoka. If you kwa film no we film one about weekend back the weekend. Basogide onyen bi na be a weekend. Basogide a weekend until alaba one ya. You may not we can man water the impact. Someone like me, I know that growing up, only one TV series I know Family Second.
Yes.
Na Minaj. Sometimes they got church on Sunday morning. Ukochuku, the father, a very episode. One of the episodes they made the previous night.
And then why
so
you relate.
So the impact of these low budget films that are accessible to a lot of people, you cannot underrate it. You should not underestimate it. It does not take away the like you got America, you got Hollywood. Ain't with big budget studios name. When low budget independent filmmakers name. So you cannot continually to say, oh, talk down on them. No, you shouldn't. Made the same market. Open cinema the game, no problem. Do cinema. Open YouTube the game, do YouTube. What is important is that you have a story you are telling. The most important ingredient of film, book story. Every other element is just addition. How beautiful your picture looks is an addition. And when you go in for just cinema, put a cover say, hey, na picture mabong. You can know this actor or this story. Na if I can call about the story or about the person who made the story, which is the actor. Hardly would they recognize your camera angles. If they now say, hey, I did dodge shot, I did this, all those things is just to satisfy your creative storytelling appetite. It has very little to contribute to how the audience accept or dislike your story. Because essentially, open a story, forget it. So I'm not cut out with this degrading thing. Shut the hell up. Get me your own film. Majority of them are not in Lagos now. Let me be honest. Majority of them have not done film in the last 10 years. You know, I cut to somebody in a film every week in, week out. Now,
turnover.
Turnover. Now, film. Yes, you may say
sense of business.
You may say quality is better than quantity. I give it to you, sir. But quality, how many times? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, about the greatest film critics are not filmmakers.
They are not.
Ndi na afune akot carry film.
How many film? Yes.
Mgbe ha menke ha. Only one Chineke. Na jom ihe ọzọ. Ka happy ebe.
Uche Agbo, since this na na-emelo all of us go for a large kind of actually Nigeria film industry. So as a director and then national vice president of
DGN, Directors Guild of Nigeria.
DGN, and then chairman of
Nigerian Film Festivals Association.
Film Festival. Kedu ihe mee no ebe ọ na nche na chulo for large efi ke ihe mee ji ya ignore anyị nwanọ na ndịda anyị nwanọ eme film n'Enugu Ọka Asaba Onitsha. Kedu ihe mee na they ignore our big players in the big field, as in, like for example, one of the biggest awards when the whole Africa get Nollywood is MVC. And when the actor win Obono one of us who name film na so what ngwa I believe that you are closer to know. Ke meji ode haji wedi.
First and foremost, I just my job before. Mgbe the whole controversy bido. Say this award, Okuya Boya African Magic Viewers Choice Award. Which means, in my own layman understanding, less money English adequate my water. In my own layman understanding, awata mi adikana. No films na goes in African Magic. Then ndi na ekiria can now pick their winners. But most of the recent winners, most of the recent films who win go AMVCA have never shown on African Magic.
Most of them don't even have films on African Magic to start with.
I'm saying most of the films AG Makia win award. For instance, Breath of Fresh Air, which by the way is one of
Breath of Life,
which by the way is one of the best movies of last year, this year, right? I give it to them. One of the best, right? As much as the film is one of the best movies I've watched, it's not on African Magic platform. So I did not expect it to have a nomination, but don't win nomination regardless. So I've asked that question. But I think branding is a case of where you want your brand to get to. Perhaps Nandi AMVCA focus, they may have to adjust the name to suit the current branding purpose. Because if we're going to tally the name, African Magic Viewers Choice Award, and the people they are giving award, it does not match. So they may have to rethink it, maybe rejig it, maybe find a way to fine tune it and change the name a little bit. Call them more encompassing. No, all films are not necessarily Viewers Choice Award from African Magic.
Because the name is actually
African Magic Viewers Choice Award. It is not self-explanatory. But the films they win award there. Abroad films are goes in Africa. So our time maybe the argument is here. However, like I said, when you open a brand, the only thing that the name seems to be contradicting and they may have to adjust it. Because the people only he create one categories that will, because most of the only categories in Fugo on the award cover to filmed in African Magic but their own originals. Like African Magic Originals, both series and film. So, ndị nke ọzọ kwa na-eme bụ nye wana take most of the runtime. Afuberom. Such films nominated. So, I feel maybe how we can create a different category that will capture those ones. Or he change the Africa or a broad award can name. Man, open na Africa auto the kita. For me, it does not really represent what it should be.
I also want to talk about, because I equal inferiority complex and everything. Inferiority complex sometimes a modern age and what here. Because some of these are actors negalo hanye bas. If mobuna hesoro meha and meba na mo esoro. They are not actually proud of what they are doing. That is why I must give it to the likes of Zubi Michael. But now anywhere they brought up that conversation, he defends what we do here with his full chest. Second, because bo Lagos actor nobody knows you. So I must give it to him. Then Caribbean AMVC a Lifetime Achievement Award. As at least in Kafo Aborono, that one is not Nkafo Aborono, it's not film this year. All film go on somebody that is actually deserving. ROMD was given last time and everything. Can you about the choice of ROMD being given Lifetime Achievement Award over the likes of Nkemowo, over the likes of Uwezuoke, over the likes of KOK, Amama Hengo Peter Doche, over the likes of Bob Manuel, Kenneth Okonkwo. Even for me, every known actors who are living in bondage go the Lifetime Achievement. What do you have to say about that?
In his own right, that's in his own right, talking about RMD, in his own right, as an actor, former commissioner, back an actor, he has his merit and should be deserving. However, I had a kunambo before these other likes.
Yes.
So, for me personally, it's just my personal opinion. I would say that they would have considered those ones first before him. Not because that
Eruro.
as a person, Eruro, Oru. You know, he is deserving in his own right. Man, like I always say, everything about the brand, AMVCA, is all about, for me, to them, it might just be all about the branding. So, I may not know the criteria. That's the truth. Can you read down Bonnie Namaro? I'm not on the criteria that informed RMD before maybe the likes of Peter Uche, for instance, right? They must have had their own criteria. However, I feel that now, the way we are being underappreciated. Now, like, what are we doing about it? I run Gomco Stephen Festival for 4 years going to 5 years. I've also seen some people that are trying also to promote this side. These people you are mentioning, these names, what have been their support to local brands promoting our people? So let's be honest. You can't tell a man how to run his brand. It's a personal brand. But the one that is targeted at trying to promote you, trying to improve how this side has seen. Because last year, the last year edition, I contacted one woman that is in part of a trade agreement between Nigeria and UK. And I was trying to now say I can some UK producers to Nigeria for Coast Stephen Festival. So that Habia or some distributors, so that then when they buy here a film that we want to distribute in UK market, they can marry the woman. Now films are is not meant for international consumption. Oh, the thing with them, yes. KOG with them, because I'm known when they are but the likes of Okoyoku is doing amazingly well. And some other young guys, the Ebuka Njoko that you talked about, that is from UNN.
That did Uno.
And yeah, that did Uno. And a couple of other young guys are doing amazingly well. And as for yeah. Mana wa he kitagi Ajafa. We have some local brands trying to meet up international standards in the way they present their brands that are targeted at to celebrate you. Yeah, they may invite you, you will not show up. So, I feel na they represent of ma case kwesi represent na AMVC or other big platforms. Can we now support local platforms and build it up and let it become a go-to event?
Because in their main cause of what is
exactly. So I'm like we blame Mado in terms of when you brand na name brand as in on my hotch of out of the brand. I go my career here. I root my hotch out of her brand. AMVC my hotch out of their brand. You will not blame them for going for RMD ahead of maybe someone like Pete.
After all, overall government sponsored program.
So how with their own criteria, how my hatch, how my hand? The question is, how have they been able to support local brands or indigenous brands that are meeting international standards in the ways of their own presentation that are targeted at promoting them? Some of our people is also part of our problem. You sabotage your brother and you want success. Other than like that now. Because Nollywood will have a lot of issues, sabotage, backbiting, bickering, all those dirty mumu problem. Mmadụ na-ekwesịrị ịdị na anụ na ntị. So long and short bụ na ihe ma ihe achọ. Ọ bụrụ RMD dị ha mma, that's okay. Mana ndị be anyị must begin to understand that na na-esi n'ụlọ mara mma pụọ n'ezi.